Oh man, where have I been? Where have I been? What's been happening? The world's been tearing itself apart. I've gotta get out of there. Gotta get out there.
Oh,
But what are you doing in my way? Way. I don't have time to review games from my childhood. I have to take action for what is currently going on. Overall, Psychonauts is a very solid PS2 game, and I consider it to be one of my favorite platformers that I've ever played. Um, played from the 6th generation gaming. This is my review of Psychonauts, and I hope you enjoy. The story centers around the main protagonist named Rasputin, who is raised by a group of circus acrobats, and eventually he learns that he has true potential beyond being a circus acrobat, and decides to go to a special camp in Whispering Rock in order to become a psychonaut. Um, However, over the time, as he struggles to fit in with the rest of the campers, he finds that most of them are getting kidnapped and having their brains stolen out by a evil scientist. And one of the coaches at the at Whispering Rock, and this causes our hero, who's the only one who has not been kidnapped and has his brains stolen out, to go out and discover the mystery behind this mess. And Raz and Lily, and the two of them sort of from a love interest sort of romance, and Lily gets kidnapped, have her brain stolen out, and Raz needs to rescue her. And overall, I find Raz to be a very interesting character. There might be some people who may accuse him of being a Gary Stu. At the end of the day, I feel like being a Gary Stu doesn't really matter, as long as you have a character that is actually kind of likable. And I think Raz kind of hits those right spots by being very enjoyable whenever you see him interact with the characters. I find him to be very energetic, and actually very caring, and towards some of the other characters' issues, and kind of has a special curiosity to him that a lot of children have, that has come with a lot of children. For instance, when Raz encounters Edgar, he more than willingly kind of helps him build the card tower to his love interest. However, when he realizes that he's trying to piece together Edgar's backstory, but when he realizes that most of it is actually is fake and is the result of the damage that the jock in Edgar's old high school caused him, I mean, he actually kind of cares about the whole situation at hand and actually willingly protects Edgar during the boss fight. Well, thing with the presentation, the game is the fact that there are a lot of different save that some of the gameplay features kind of tie in with the story, and every level that you visit almost feels like an individual character. So there are these safes that you can crack open by hitting them, and an interesting thing about them is that if you hit them, they'll reveal a part of the character's sort of past and history, and I find this to be really interesting because it makes the whole engagement with the other, with the level as a character itself to be actually really interesting. Gameplay to be very varied. Psychonauts is a collectathon, so you'll be collecting a lot of items. However, if you go, the game itself is very short, which I don't have a problem with. But if you go for 100%, the game does get a lot longer. There are a lot of different collectibles to find, which can be kind of frustrating, but the cool thing is that each of the collectibles have a sort of incentive because they kind of increase your Psych Cadet rank, so that as you get higher in a ranking, you gain more abilities. My favorite thing about the game's gameplay is the level design. I feel like the level design is very varied. This includes things like Edgar's brain, where you have to go through the level while a bull was trying to run through the streets, which meant you have to use careful maneuvering and rely on side passages throughout the level. And or like Fred Bonaparte's brain, where the entire level is like it take place in a board game. So the game knows how to switch things up without sort of deviating too much from the core gameplay. That was everything that I liked about Psychonauts. Some of the things I didn't like include the controls, the camera. I feel like the controls in Psychonauts are very solid for the most part. However, the one sort of, I think Raz kind of moves very smoothly. And whenever there's this weird delay with like jumping, especially when trying to jump to like onto like a rope or something to climb. And sometimes there's a weird delay with a double jump for some reason. However, I don't know, that might have had something to do with something else. And for the camera, I felt like sometimes, especially when Raz was going into an enclosed area, I felt like it tended to kind of close in on him a little too much, which caused sometimes the camera to sort of get a little too close to Raz. I was trying to use it. Overall, Psychonauts is a very solid platformer for PS2. I would recommend it to anyone who enjoys collectathons. It definitely is worth playing to the end, especially considering the ending of the game, which I won't spoil. And yeah, overall, it's a very solid platformer. Even though it has its flaws, still find it to be very enjoyable and charming to play.